So what did the skipper lead at the skipper lie?
Salve, Magister.
So today we're going to begin learning about how the Romans communicated different relationships between nouns. Okay? People at all times, everywhere, have used different interesting ways to communicate relationships. Now, what we're going to do is take these four nouns, poem, Claudia, Catullus, and tree, and we'll use the verb recite, and I want you to come up with a sentence, a complete thought, and if you need to use other words to make a complete thought, you can do that, or if you need to use a word to smooth over the sentences. Okay? Get to work. Now, as soon as you've completed your sentence, run up to the board, write it down, and underline the nouns once and the verbs twice.
I'm running up.
Once and the verbs twice. Okay, return to your seats. Now, what you have demonstrated are the three main ways languages use to communicate relationships. For example, in the first sentence, how do I know Catullus is the one reciting a poem?
They come before the verb.
Good. How do I know who's reciting here? It's
With another word before tree.
well, Claudia, right? Claudia, and look over here. There's two of the nouns are before recite. So they're the ones doing the action. So, here's another one. How do I know where Catullus is reciting the poem?
With another word before tree.
Good. We call that a preposition. And over here, reciting it to Claudia. And over here, how do we know whose poem Claudia is reciting?
With an apostrophe S.
Good. So those are the three ways. There's word order, preposition, or an ending on a noun. Now, what makes Latin so challenging for students, for you, is that whereas English uses prepositions and word order, Latin uses noun endings. And these noun endings, here's a chart of all the noun endings, and these noun endings are divided into cases. And those cases tell us how that noun is being used in a particular sentence. So this job to teach you the uses of the cases is too difficult for me. It's too difficult for Hercules. So what I want to do is have you break into groups, each of you, pick one of these ideas on the board, explain to the class what is meant by it, and then present it to the class.
Okay.
You think you're up for the task?
Yeah.
Excellent. How many tasks did Hercules perform?
13.
12, but we're going to do 13.
Oh.
Start. Act 1. The nominative case.
The nominative case is used for the subject of a sentence, e.g., Marcus, in the sentence, Marcus, Argo, current.
Who is running?
Marcus.
Marcus is the subject because he is the one we are talking about. He is doing the action expressed by the verb current.
Scene 2. The nominative case as complement or predicate nominative.
The nominative case is also used if you want to say who or what the subject is. Marcus is a boy. Cornelia is a sister. Marcus and Cornelia are happy.
In those sentences, you're saying who Marcus is,
A boy,
who Cornelia is,
his sister,
and you're describing them with a modifier.
happy. In Latin, this would be Marcus Esquire.
Cornelia es soror.
Marcus et
Cornelia
Cornelia
sum
sum
lati.
lati. When you complete a sentence with a noun modifier or linking verb, we call that noun a modifier or complement.
The Romans put in the same case as the subject, the nominative case, because it is renaming or modifying the subject.
And because it appears in the predicate part of the sentence after the verb, you can also call a predicate noun.
Actus secundus. The genitive case.
The genitive case is used in Latin to show connection between nouns that we express in English with the preposition of, or by adding apostrophe s or s apostrophe to the end of the noun.
This includes possession, as in the following examples. Example 1.
My football.
Kyle's football. The apostrophe s on Kyle tells us whose football it is. Kyle shows possession or ownership, therefore it is in the genitive case.
Example 2. Tyler copying Amanda's homework and the teacher coming over, snatching it and returning to Amanda saying,
Amanda's homework.
Tyler's homework, but not done yet.
Keep going.
Example 3. Bev doing Allie's hair. Allie's hair. In this example, the ending on Allie's apostrophe S tells us whose hair.
Instead of saying Kyle's football, Amanda's homework, and Allie's here, you could use the preposition of and say the football of Kyle, the homework of Amanda, and the hair of Allie. These are different ways to express the genitive case in English.
Here are 3 Latin examples of noun in the genitive case showing expressing possession or ownership. Villa Marci et Cornelia, meaning the country house of Marci and Cornelia, Marcus and Cornelia, or Cornelia and Marcus's country house. Note that there are 2 ways to translate these genitive endings, with or with an apostrophe s. Anelia's mattress, which means the ring of my mother or my mother's ring. The genitive case is showing the ring belongs to my mother. Davis S. Service Cornelii. Davis is Cornelius's slave. You mean Cornelius owns Davis? That's not right, Mr. Kohler. People don't own each other. As to my mother or father don't own me.
Well, you're perfectly correct there. And I agree with you. Slavery was a horrible violation of human rights. However, it was a fact of Roman existence. And maybe that's why the Romans aren't with us anymore. Carry on.
What is Jaden doing? I am putting my family tree on the board. The genitive case can be used to show a family relationship. Shonda and Clyde are Jihad's parents. Shonda and Clyde are my parents. Clyde is Lavelle's father. Shonda is not Lavelle's mother.
Excellent. Possession or ownership and family relation. 2 uses of the genitive case.
The dative case is used for the indirect object.
Not all verbs take indirect objects, only verbs of giving, telling, or showing.
Hey, isn't that Lavinia over there? Let's demonstrate indirect objects with her.
Great idea.
Hey, Lavinia, come here.
Yo, quit alphabet query.
We are making a video to show Line 1 students what an indirect object is. Can you help?
Sure. An indirect object receives a direct object. In other words, the subject gives, tells, or shows the direct object to the indirect object.
Here's an example. I, as a subject, will tell a secret direct object to Lavinia as the indirect object. Ready?
Hey, what did you say?
That means I tell a secret to Lavinia, or I tell Lavinia a secret. You can show the indirect object in English by using the preposition to before Lavinia, or by saying the indirect object Lavinia before the direct object secret.
Oh, what about giving? I would rather be an indirect object when the verb is to give.
Sure, I, the subject, give you the indirect object.
Give her the phone.
Hey, give me your phone.
I'll show it to you.
Giving, telling, showing. Now I'm the indirect object. Wow! Let's look at the sentences over here.
Hey Janelle and Janaya,
Hey, Mike.
do you guys know what the ablative of means is? Mr. Kohler wants us to prepare a lesson.
That's easy. It answers how someone does something
For an example, how can I reach my mom to tell her I have a track meet after school?
by means of your phone.
The ablative case is used to show the instrument or tools by which an action is performed.
Then why is it called the ablative of means and not the ablative of instrument?
What does Mr. Kohler tell us to do when we have questions like this?
Look it up.
Eureka! I found it under definition 5. 5 means a method, course of action, or instrument by which an act can be accomplished or some end achieved. Example, he thought that the end justified the means. And look here, by means of, with the use of owing to. Example, they succeeded by means of patience and sacrifice.
And here, under the instrument, the tool one uses to accomplish something. Patience and sacrifice aren't really instruments, but they are what is needed sometimes to achieve something worthwhile.
Well, how about this example? I climbed a tree by means of a ladder. How did I climb the tree?
With the use of the ladder. The ladder was the instrument you used or the means by which you got up the tree.
Great. You explain this to the class, now we'll put some examples on the board.
Yo, Mr. Kohler, we're ready.
Paratina Estes? That's great. Go ahead, you pick the endings from the box that you'll need. And Michael, I will go tell the other students that you will be presenting shortly.
And then it comes back to me.
I'm
beginning to get this. The other students, that's dative. You, the subject, are going to tell something, the direct object, to the other students, the indirect object.
What case are we looking for?
So what pages que puli just que pulai fue?
Sawe, Janelle.
We are going to show you how to say how you do something in Latin.
How?
Like this. Note too that in all these examples, the ladder, rope, hands, and Tyler, the key, are all physical objects. They are the tools someone uses to achieve the result.
And that, Discipuli Kari, concludes our presentation on the ablative of means or instruments. Now, what case do we use to express the means by which someone does something?
The ablative case.
You know it, guys.
Whence comes the worthy Thane?
What? What did you just call me, a Thane?
Sorry, Shakespeare's Macbeth. It's Scottish for a feudal lord. Where are you coming from? Or from where are you coming?
The office. From the office. Tyler! Please, Mr. John, don't say anything serious.
Have you seen Tyler?
Tyler? Why no. He went thither. Thither, as sparrows the eagle or hares the lion. Our Thane doth seek to elude thee, good sir.
Thanks, I didn't think you were a snitch.
Hey, your mother made a special trip. This is your permission slip. You forgot it, and then you're lucky she came here to give it to you.
Thanks.
Now get thee hence, my good sir, and go directly to English class.
Right, like I'm going to know what they're talking about.
Hey, you. Where are you from?
East,
Where are you going?
west,
No loitering. Who are you?
Apollo. Now who are you?
In English, we can even leave prepositions out sometimes if the idea is understood. However, the Romans used not only a preposition, but either the accusative or ablative case to express ideas about place.
They use the accusative case to express place to which and the ablative case for place where or from which.
Check out this diagram for a more exact sense of the prepositions and how to locate one. For example, ad plus the accusative is towards. In plus the ablative is into. In plus the accusative is into. In plus the ablative is on or in. E or X plus the ablative is out of. Sub plus the ablative is under. And a or ab plus the ablative is away from.
While I have your attention, I want to show you the difference between the ablative of accompaniment and ablative of means. Accompaniment is a big word that simply means in the company of, when with means in the company of another person. Use the preposition cum and put an ablative ending on the end of the word identifying the person. If with refers to the meanings by which you do something, such as Janelle's example about climbing a tree with a ladder, then use the ablative ending without a preposition. The ladder is not accompanying you, it is the tool or instrument you used. Marcus cum sexto and agris currit.
Do you know all of your noun endings now?
Yes!
What are they?
Mr. Kohler, what's an ending?
Ending. Ending?
A noun ending.
Oh, of course. I think I can begin to answer that with the endless noun ending song.
Okay.
Ready, George? Mm-hmm. Take it.
A noun ending is a sound or group of sounds on the end of a noun that show how that noun is used in your sentence.
And whether singular or plural.
That's right. Now there are 5 verses called declensions to this song. But if we learn 3 of them, we can call it a day. Are you ready for the first verse? Good. Singular. And plural. I, autumn, is, as, is. Together it goes like this. I, autumn, is, as, is. You learn fast. We're ready for the second verse. Now, since nouns in this declension are masculine,
What about template?
with some neuter nouns, but most are masculine, so we'll ask the girls to be quiet, just for a bit.
I'll find
So
a
it goes like
second
this.
cleanse
Us, e, o, o. And plural. E, autumn, is, os, is. Very good. Singular and plural. Us, e, o, o. E, autumn, is, os, is. In the third verse, there is no nominative singular, so we'll fill it in with a drum and begin with the genitive, like this. Is-E-M-A. Good. And plural, as ibus, as ibus. Good. Singular and plural. Is-E-M-A. As ibus, as ibus. If nouns in the first verse are feminine and in the second masculine,
Or neuter.
what are nouns in the third verse? D. All of the above.
How do you decline a neuter?
Well, there are two special rules for neuters. First, the accusative is the same as the nominative, and two, the nominative plural ending is A. So a second declension neuter sounds like this. E-O, o. Autumn, is, is. And a third neuter is E-A. Ibus, ibus. How about if I give you the dictionary form of some nouns, and then you sing the appropriate verse? Try Puella I feminine. Good. How about amicus E masculine? Good. Frater, fratris masculine. Templum E neuter. Tempus temporis neuter? The neuters may take some time. Just figure out what declension it is and apply those two rules to it.
Can we stop declining now?
Minhime, it's time for our finale, a rousing round of endings. The 6th graders will kick us off with the first declension, the 7th graders will join with the second, and last but not least, the 8th graders will bring down the house with the third. Parati estis? Begin. Good, first declension. Ready, second? Good. Okay, third, it's your turn. Keep it up. That's good. Okay, this is your last round, first declension. Thank you. Okay, second. Good job. And third. Bring us home. You've got it. You'll all do fine in the upper school. Just watch out for the pitfalls along the way. And remember, you must get the base from the genitive, and we're talking grammatical gender here, not biological. And if you have problems, start singing.